Just waiting for to start up. Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype group. Desire is dream and security, another garb for bondage. Security is the garb for bondage because we are afraid of being insecure. And dreams and desires and thoughts are synonyms. Desires and dreams are synonyms, and these dreams constantly plague our security. Desires are dreams. All our thoughts is another name for dreams. And we go on continuously living in dreams because man as such, he is asleep. Dreams can exist only in a state of sleep, and dreams disappear. Dreams disappear the moment you wake up from the sleep or slumber. To go beyond the state of dreams is the state of awakening. When awakening happens, dreams vanish. Enough, you have slept for many lives. It is the time to wake up from this slumber. Now, do not miss this opportunity to wake up, because waking is a rare opportunity that seldom comes to an individual. Or there is someone who is ready to wake you up. And it is very easy to miss this opportunity. So put your whole effort and energy into waking up. The dawn of consciousness is around, and it is time to wake up. In the beginning, it seems almost impossible, and you wonder, how can I do it? How can I wake up? But if you go on trying, certainly it will happen one day. In sleep, you toss and turn, but if you go on tossing and turning, it is bound to disrupt the sleep. And just a moment's glimpse of being awake is enough to trigger a new process in your being, the process of awakening. Once this happens, then more and more moments of awakening will arise. More and more moments of awakening will arrive, and the day one becomes fully awakened. 24 hours. Not that you are awake, you are alert for certain hours or certain moments, but otherwise you are not. You are fast asleep. Slowly and slowly, you can remain 24 hours alert and awake. And even while you are asleep, you can remain alert and aware. Your body may sleep, but that which is in the body, that you call as soul, that you call as being, remains awake. you are dreaming, yet still you are aware that it is a dream. When one is capable of being awake 24 hours a day, even when body is resting, only then one should feel contented, not before that. Before that, many stages come. But the moment when you are 24 hours awake, even if the body is resting, then you feel contented. One has arrived home. Before that, make every possible effort that you can, but do not leave any stone unturned to remain awake and alert. A situation comes, you can be alert or awake. As I have said earlier, you can remain happy or unhappy. The moment you are happy, that means you are in harmony with that. And when you are in harmony with that situation, that circumstance, you are knocking at the door of awakening. This is your conscious choice and you can do it. No one else can do for you. But what happens? We live in desires. Desire means you are discontented for this or that. This is a state of discontentment. Desire means whatsoever is not right, not enough. You do not agree with it. Therefore, more is needed. And desire is never fulfilled. Mirza Ghalib says, हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले. Desires go on mushrooming. There are so many desires like this that each desire as it comes in, it does something to you. Which desire your unfulfilled a state of unfulfillment comes out. Desires can never be fulfilled by its very nature. You can have as many desires, but the moment you have it, desire goes on jumping out of your head. It starts asking for more. Desire, if it is personified, it is greedy, never fulfilled. Its greed knows no limit. Desires implies unlimited greed. It is like the horizon that looks very close, very near, but it is never close. It is never close. You think you can reach it within an hour if you run, but the moment you come closer to it, you realize it has gone farther from you, like a mirage. But you cannot reach it. The distance between you and the horizon remains the same. There is a beautiful anecdote from the life of Krishna. He was very mischievous. He used to steal butter as a part of his frolicsome childhood activities. The milkmaids liked him doing that, but at the same time, to continue the communion, they will come and complain to his mother Yashoda that Krishna does so much mischief. If he eats butter, we have no complaint. But what he does, he breaks our earthen pots that contain butter. And not only that, he makes a mess of the place. So when she listened to scores of the milkmaid coming and complaining, Yashoda got angry and he decided to tie up Krishna with a rope. She brings a rope and she realizes that the rope is 2 finger width short. So she adds up a piece and now it becomes 2 finger width longer. But the gap always remains either 2 finger width short or 2 finger width larger than is needed. This is a mystical number. What is the 2 finger width? You and I. You are you and I am I. That creates the bondage of 2 finger width, which never can be fulfilled unless the illusion of you and I is removed. And that is what is meant. The horizon seems to be closer. The moment you come closer in sight of it, you realize that the distance remains the same and you are again that far. You can never reach the horizon. The distance between you and horizon remains the same, as it happens in case of the rope. Yashoda is trying to tie Krishna with the rope. Either it is 2 finger width short or 2 finger width larger, never the appropriate size. And this is, in mysticism, is you and I, the duality. You and I are the 2 sides of the same coin. Kabir says, when I am, you are not. When you are, I am not. And the love lane is very narrow. 2 cannot exist together. The horizon will remain the same, constantly the same, because there is no horizon. It is an illusion. The earth is not meeting with the sky anywhere. It only appears to be. It appears that you and I are meeting somewhere in an imaginary region. So is the case with desires. It only appears that if I could reach to that point, if I could attain to this or that, there would be contentment. I would be happy. I would be fulfilled. But it never happens. One has to understand it. Understand the nature of desiring and its futility as well. 2 things, the nature of desiring, nature of desires, and the futility that it cannot be fulfilled. In that very understanding, it happens, the desires vanish. Desires disappear and one is left at home in deep, overflowing peace. When there is no desire, there is no disturbance. Remember, desire is the only disturbance. Desire is the only disturbance. When all desires have gone, there is tremendous silence within. Tremendous silence within. The moment desires vanish, you are no more bothered about security. In that silence, you become aware of the presence of that which is presence, as you can call it, presence of God. And that is satiating, that is fulfilling. That fulfills because it brings infinite joy, infinite freedom, freedom from bondage, freedom from all that you feel that you need security. It fulfills because it brings something of the beyond, something which cannot be taken away from you, something which is inexhaustible, and something that is beyond duality, something which is beyond death. Verily it opens the doors for the kingdom of God. Verily it opens the doors for what we call kingdom of God, because you are not separate from God. There is a power within that knows beyond our knowings. We are not aliens nor as strangers join. We are bound to each other by a causeless force. Bound to each other by a causeless force. So your work has to be understanding the desiring mind. The desires can never be fulfilled. Can never be fulfilled. You are not to renounce it. You are not to repress it, because if you repress it, it will come again and again with a bang. If you renounce it, it will follow you till eternity. It is only through deep understanding that desires vanish. Deep understanding that horizon does not exist. It appears to be the earth and the sky are merging into one another, and there is an understanding that it is an illusion. And then suddenly the spring of bliss spurts into your being. The spring, and you do not worry about security. Because security is another garb for bondage. Indeed, security is another yet refined name for bondage. Bondage is dependence. You go to the insurance people, and if they happen to be religious people of any kind, the church people or otherwise, they say God is love. God is love. God takes care of us when we need. But take the insurance. Insurance is very important. A conflicting attitude. And security is another yet refined name for bondage. Bondage is dependence, and we continue to live in a state of bondage, and the bondage is not imposed by others, instead it is self-created. It is created because we are afraid of being insecure. In the name of security, we create bondages of insurance, bondages of many types around us. Certainly it gives a feeling of comfort, feeling of warmth and safety, but it is all false like a mirage. Because sooner or later death will come and take it away, and then nothing remains. Because of this, you never explore. And you never go beyond the boundaries of all that is known. We want to live within the realm of the known. To enter into an unknown, an unknowable region always sends quivers in us. So we want to be secure. We want to be in the known realm. The familiar is very small, and we go on moving in the unfamiliar circles. And life knows no growth, because growth happens only if we move not in these circles but in straight lines. If we are linear, then there is growth, because circle is continuing. And you are going again and again in the same thing. Growth happens when there is a straight line. If we go around and around in circles, we are go on repeating the same thing again and again. Same thing again and again, and we go on going into, keep on moving in circles, and then there is no movement. Freedom is impossible because we have made our own present day circles. You can get out of it any moment when you decide to come out of it. It is only a question of your decision, of your courage, of your guts, and you are out of that. Freedom is of ultimate value in life. Freedom is of ultimate value in life. Nothing is more important than freedom. Indeed, out of freedom comes everything else that is valuable in life. With freedom comes all that is valuable in life. Love arises as a fragrance. Love is the fragrance of freedom. Joy arises, and meaning too arises for the first time in life. And it becomes significant. And one is constantly moving beyond the known, going into the unknown. Life becomes a thrill, an adventure, but you have made life just a dragging affair. It seems safe to you. It appears secure, but there is no security, no safety anywhere. These are impossible to attain. Freedom is the ultimate value in life. Life, in its intrinsic nature, implies insecurity. In its intrinsic nature implies insecurity. Only death is secure. You cannot take anything away from a dead man whatsoever. It happened, Nanak had strange ways and means. One day the people searched for him and they could not find anywhere. They inquired, someone said they have seen Nanak going towards the cremation ground. And there under the cremation ground, in the cremation ground, he was sitting under the tree in a state of meditation. People ask, is this place of meditation? People go to meditate in the temples, churches and mosques, but not in the cremation ground. Nanak remained quiet when people have finished the barrage of their questions. He said, in this cemetery, whatsoever place you have got cannot be taken away from you. But in your life, one day your wife is taken, your husband is taken, your children are taken away, and nothing remains yours. Everything is transitory. You cannot take anything away from a dead man. Even death cannot do any harm to him because he is already dead. In his grave, he is so absolutely secure. When it happened, when Confucius went to meet Lao Tse on a cold winter morning in a cave on the mountain, he asked him certain questions. He said, when you are lying down in the grave, then you ask those questions. Even death cannot do any harm to him because he is already dead. And in the grave, he is so absolutely secure. But man as such is obsessed with security, that you have made your house a grave, all kind of securities, this camera, that camera, all kind of securities. You do not live in them. Instead, in security, you only die you die slowly and slowly. It is a gradual kind of suicide. And initiation means freedom. Freedom from all self-created securities, bondages. In the beginning, one feels afraid and is scared, but it is natural. But once you become attuned to the insecurity and you have developed trust that you will be taken care of. There is a particular Sufi story of Mawjood. Mawjood actually literally means one who is available to the moment, who is alert and awake. He started his life like anyone else, a secure job. He would have retired as the inspector of weights and measures. All of a sudden, one day, while he was settling in his job, the Khizr alayhi salam, the mysterious friend of the Sufis, appeared to him and said, "Abandon the job and meet me by the riverside." You become attuned to insecurity. And you know the joy of being insecure and he said, you will be provided for. Jump into the river and you will be provided for. Without a second thought, he jumped into the stream. And there the current was strong and he meets a fisherman on the other side. He said, "Are you crazy or what? The river flow is very strong." And he realized that he had nothing, and that became the place for him to stay. He offered him his services, and for that he was provided boarding and lodging. Once you become attuned to the insecure and you know the joy of insecurity, then you never look back to those old toys that you used to think were keeping your life secure. And they were not security, instead they were simply prisons, bondages, chain around you. You need not be Hindu or a Christian or Muslim, these are bondages, prisons. You need not be a Hindu, Muslim, Catholic or Communist or Protestant. These are self-created prisons that you create around you. One need not live in an ideology that is also a bondage, a prison. One should be free from all ideologies, dogmas, creeds and scriptures too. The only scripture that is there for you to follow is love. Only then life becomes an exploration. Life becomes a journey. There is no conclusions and you can explore. You are brought up in such a way that you are reduced to slaves. Reduced to slaves, and the slavery is so subtle that very rarely do you become aware. You do become aware of it, very rarely, and you go on living your life as a slave, thinking that this is all there to live. This is not at all. This is nothing. This is not even the beginning. Not even the beginning. Life begins only when you become free from all kind of bondages, dogmas, creeds, scriptures, bondages of the nation, race, church, ideological beliefs, social, political and religious ideologies. When you become free from all these imprisonments, You simply drop all that you have been told is important in life. Drop all that you have been told to believe in. And when you neither believe nor disbelieve, great freedom arises. Freedom arises in your being. The freedom is, and that freedom is initiation, that freedom is Bayat. You are free of all dogmas. People want to be initiated and yet continue to live in their bondages, in their ideological beliefs. Initiation gives you a free horizon, free sky, a vast sky to float into. You are beyond all belief and disbeliefs, then great freedom arises in you. And it can take you higher and higher towards the ultimate. Only a free person can know what truth is. Otherwise, you can go on imagining that this may be the truth. Someone said this is the truth, next one says this is the truth, but you are in a quandary. Only a free person knows what truth is, and only a free person can know what God is, what love is. Freedom is essential because it is the foundation. It is the very foundation of all that is beautiful and great. Freedom is the foundation of all that is great and beautiful. Attain to freedom from all bondages, ideological beliefs, be it social, political, religious, or otherwise, and frisk gaily in the space that we call as freedom. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.